Welcome back, friends. We are continuing with our topic of transportation, and today we are going to start with transportation in plants, and we will discuss few aspects regarding transportation in plants. But before continuing, for those who are following my sessions, I know some of you need my notes, so I am doing processes to put them in the Kipaji app. You can go to Play Store, download the Kipaji app, and then you can buy these notes for a very low cost, which is affordable to almost every Tanzanian. And the second thing is that initially I was using my computer to teach, and the system has got some of the complications. However, the system is somehow best compared to this, but it has got some of the complications. One among the advantages of using computer is that it aids in showing different diagrams and illustrations, and using different reference books and even Google and to show you how the things they are occurring. But don't worry, because for the next time I will type my notes and they will be in the typed form, and even for those who need the hard copy of notes, they will be supplied all over regions of Tanzania. I have many challenges in my teaching style because I am starting by this 2020, but don't worry, my aim is to help you and to make sure that you are excelling well in your exams. Now, today let's start with an introduction with some of few terminologies used in the transportation plant. Then we will move to plant-water relations. Now, we have some few terminologies which we have already discussed some of them, but it's not bad to repeat them so that to make you more competent. Our first terminology is about mass flow. Mass flow is the bulk or massive transport of material from one part to another as the result of pressure difference between the two regions. One thing you need to know about mass flow is that first it is the bulk or massive transport of materials. So here materials zinakuwa transported kama accumulated. Bulk or massive manake ni kama a large mass of substance is transported. This is different from osmosis, diffusion, or even active transport, because in osmosis we are moving water molecules. In diffusion we can move our molecules of a substance. So molecules they have very small masses. The masses of molecules is very small. But in mass flow we don't move molecules. We normally move large materials, and their masses is very large. And this is also different even from facilitated diffusion and active transport, because in facilitated diffusion and active transport, you can transport some of the materials such as glucose or even amino acids. But even if you are transporting those materials, you can't transport many of them at the same time. You should transport each amino acid by its own channel, or using its own protein, which tend to open by one transport, tend to transport one molecule of glucose, maybe from outside of the cell into the cell. But in a mass flow, we are transporting a massive, large mass. So inakuwa ni uzito mkubwa of materials from one part of the body, either of the plant or animal, to another. And here when we are talking of mass flow in plants, the transportation of mineral salts and the water from roots to leaves, where the mineral salts of water and the water they act as the raw materials for either photosynthesis itself directly, or they can act as the raw material for synthesis of chlorophyll. That's why if plant lacks some of the mineral salts, it tend to become yellowish. The yellow in color of the plant is because of the lack of enough chlorophyll. Lack of enough chlorophyll. And the lack of enough chlorophyll is because there are no minerals for manufacturing the chlorophyll. So the movement which is used to transport mineral salts and the water from the roots to the leaves, it is the mass flow. And again, the movement which is used to transport manufactured food from leaves to other parts of the plant to be used, it is also mass flow. It is also mass flow. So with the mass flow, all materials are swept along with the same speed. In the mass flow, it's not like active transport, because active transport is always selective. If the channel tends to transport glucose, it can't transport amino acid. Or if the channel transport amino acid, it can't transport another substrate. But the mass flow tends to sweep along all materials at the same speed. And as I've explained the examples, the movement of mineral salts and water in the xylem tissues, and the movement of manufactured food in the phloem tissues, is how we shall discuss later regarding these materials movement and the hypothesis suggesting the nature of movement, how are they moving in those vascular tissues. And then from there, we have another terminology which is vascular system. I know maybe somewhere you've heard about the vascular system in your Form 2 biology, and the meaning of vascular system remains the same. This is the system of tube which full of fluid being transported from one point to another. And the means by which fluid is transported in this vascular system is through mass flow. So mass flow, it is the method through which these fluids, they are transported from one part of the plant to another through vascular system. So mass flow occur through vascular system. Or if it is in the animal body, mass flow occur through blood vessels or lymphatic vessels. So what we are saying that vascular system is accounted in both plants and animals. In plants, it consists of xylem and phloem. Vascular system in plant consists of xylem and phloem. However, in animals, the vascular system consists of the blood vessels. Vascular system in animals consists of the blood vessels. From there, we have the translocation, the terminology translocation. Now I know this is one among the terminology which will confuse you in many of the things which we will discuss later. But translocation is simply defined as this is the movement of substance through conducting tissue or vascular tissue of plant. Now, some of you students, you confuse this because in discussing about xylem, we are not just saying as it is a translocation. And even in some of the questions you can be asked that explain the theories for the translocation of manufactured food, maybe from leaves to other parts of the plants. But sometimes even it is regarded only translocation. So if you ask it that explain the theories for translocation in plants, and then you know that translocation, the movement of substances through conducting tissues or vascular tissues of plant, and you know there are two categories of vascular tissues, the xylem and the phloem. So how will you tackle this question? How will you answer this question where you know there are two categories of vascular tissues and you have been asked about translocation? Now, how will you do? One thing I can tell you that normally when we are talking about translocation, we are referring to the movement of manufactured food. If you are told only translocation, there is no more explanation about that, and you ask the question. Translocation is always referred to the movement of food from leaves to other parts of the plant. But if you are told that explain maybe the theories suggesting how mineral salts and the water they tend to translocate from roots to leaves, then you will answer the question regarding the movement of materials in the xylem tissue. So these are the very few important terminology that you need to understand before we are moving further. In the next session, we will be discussing about the water-plant relations, and we'll be discussing about the concept of water potential and solute potential. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to share this video to your fellow students. And don't forget to tell them if they are needing this notes, they should go to Kipaj app so that they can get them very easy. For the need of discussion and past papers or asking different questions, you can find me through Telegram. You can find me through WhatsApp, but the best method which I prefer is Telegram. My number there in the description below. I hope every one of you can get the number and can contact me for any case that will be not understood in this session. Thank you everybody, and later wish you nice studies.